Good day, I'm Phil of the Shadow Chasers, and today we're going to be taking a look at a new piece of technology. Originally, everybody's heard of and everybody has a non-contact thermal scanner. This is an X-Tech, which is also one of the Raytech thermometers, that any place you point the laser is basically where you're reading. You get a nice backlit display. This was about $90 going on 10 years ago. And the accuracy of it was 1 to 5%. Now, this was the pinnacle of technology then. However, things have certainly changed as technology develops. Now, we have the Black & Decker thermal leak detector. This is also another non-contact thermal scanner, but the differences are quite apparent. First, with the X-Tech, we had to hold down the trigger and continually scan. Release the trigger and it'll auto power off. The Black & Decker, auto power on, just press the switch and it stays locked on. It creates a base reference point for temperature and then actually scans the rest of the room and lets you know the scan temperatures. Now, the interesting thing here is we see a green light here. This is where you're currently scanning. While the X-Tech has a laser, this actually does something different. We can do this mode where we can just pan it around and it scans wherever we're pointing. If we drop it into this mode, we actually see that it'll scan at 1 degree Fahrenheit or 0.5 degrees Celsius variations, and it will change the light according to what that temperature change is. Now, if we pan over here, we see blue, where it actually turns colder, or over this way where it turns red, and it means it's turned hotter. Now these variations allow you to see things accurately in the field. And instead of calling out a reading saying, oh, I have a cold spot over here, you can actually change this so that you can see 1 degree Fahrenheit changes, 5 degree, or 10 degree, which would determine where it's going to change that lighting. So when someone pans this across, you can just sweep it across and everybody will immediately see wherever there's a temperature change rather than calling out those numbers. Now, again, it's still good to actually call them out, but at the same time, this is very, very handy for everybody else in the field because immediately it'll pinpoint, everybody sees there's a temperature variation at one spot. Now, you can also use this as a flashlight too because it's going to be permanently on. It'll just color shift as you're seeing the temperature changes. Now, one of the best things about this is where the Raytech was about $90 going on 10 years ago, this Black & Decker is only $40 today, and it's going into the clearance rack at Lowe's, actually. So this is a very handy piece of technology, very, very useful, and a great replacement for the old X-Techs or Raytech thermometers.